Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Clarity Tarot and Astrology. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys are all doing very well and are excited for the month of July. In this video, we're going to be diving into the astrology of July. There's so much going on this month. We have three retrogrades, including a Mercury retrograde. We have Uranus that is moving into the sign of Gemini. And we also have Mars conjunct the South Node. So, very big energies. I think that this month is going to be a big turning point, and it's going to be really important to understand how these energies are going to be impacting us collectively, but also individually. So, I am going to explain this for each of the 12 signs as well. So, if you're interested in this, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and let's get started. So, wow, July, I feel, is going to be a very big month. So much going on. And the biggest thing that is going on is that Uranus, the planet of sudden, unexpected, unprecedented change, is going to be entering the sign of Gemini, which is a mutable sign. It's a sign that is very adaptable and very flexible. And with Uranus going into Gemini, this is really going to be turning up the volume. We're going to be picking up the pace. Life is going to start moving a lot faster and it's going to be a lot louder. And so it's very important to have your bearings. It's very important for you to be grounded and to know your truth and to be very clear about what your goals and your objectives are because there's going to be so much going on, so much news, all these changes that are happening, and it's going to be really easy to be overwhelmed. So, with this shift occurring this month, I do feel like there could be some big event or big news that shakes us up, that shocks us, something that happens that it's like, whoa, I didn't even think that was possible or that could happen. But it also helps us to not be so complacent because that is what Uranus wants. Uranus wants us to kind of stay on our toes and to not get stuck into a certain way of being and understanding that change is the only constant in life. And with Uranus going into Gemini, we're having to change our mindset. There are so many things about our world that are changing, and we really are making a transition this year, specifically in 2025, into a brand new world. And we already see that there are things about our old world that just don't work anymore, right? And I think that with Uranus going into Gemini, it's going to really solidify that. It's going to go, wow, okay. We always talk about the future. No, we are in the future. This is the future. And that's what I think July is going to show to us. We're also going to have Neptune that is going retrograde in the sign of Aries, Saturn's going retrograde in the sign of Aries, and Mercury is going retrograde in the sign of Leo. So, with all of these retrogrades, we are reviewing something, we're rethinking something, we're redoing something. And in everyone's life, it'll be different depending on where these energies are for you. But with all of these retrogrades happening, it's showing that we're having to take a step back and rethink a lot of things about our life because we're understanding that the world is changing. And if you have set your life up in a way that is not in alignment with where the world is going, you got to come up with a new plan. And for some people that have been adopting to the new world, sometimes you need to take a step back and look at what you're building and make sure that you're on the right path or integrate new information. So I do think that this month it's like a mixture of energies I think the world is going to be moving really fast, but we have to take the time to figure out what it means for us specifically. Another really important date to watch is going to be July 20th and a few days before, a few days after, because this is when Mars, the planet of action, aggression, anger, violence, is going to conjunct the South Node in Virgo. And these two energies coming together is showing some type of fated, forceful, powerful ending. So that can be interpreted in many different ways. And I do think that this is going to be referring to all of the geopolitical conflict that is going on in the world. So I think we need to be very careful around these days, um, watching what is going on in the world because it is going to have consequences. Besides that, we have our new moons and our full moons, and I'll talk about this for each of the 12 signs. But if you are interested in getting to know your chart more intimately and understanding what your purpose and mission is here on earth in this lifetime and what you should be doing at this time, then I highly recommend booking in a private reading with me, specifically a natal chart reading. A natal chart reading is the foundation of astrology. And when you understand your natal chart, you understand your purpose, your mission, the unique energy you bring to the world. It makes it a lot easier to understand what you should be doing at any given point in time. So if you are feeling unsure or confused, then book in for a reading. Now, I also offer many different types of readings: solar return readings, lunar return readings, synastry readings if you're into love, if you want to know when love is coming, etc. And I also do offer tarot. So do check out my website and do book a reading. All right, let's jump in to the predictions for each of the signs. For Capricorn and Capricorn rising, on July 2nd, we will have a first quarter moon in Libra, which for you is your 10th house of your career, your public reputation, and your status. And so a first quarter moon is about a crisis that we need to take action on to rectify the situation. And this is happening at 11 degrees, which is one of the Aquarius degrees, which relates to your finances. And so you might be realizing that you perhaps are not making enough money within your career or with your industry, and you might be needing to rectify this situation in some way. On July 4th, Venus will enter the sign of Gemini, which rules your sixth house of work, health, and daily routine. And so Venus coming here is going to make things easier when it comes to the service that you provide, when it comes to the work that you do. And this could possibly be a good time for you to ask for more money, to ask for a raise, for you to charge more for your services, or for you to um, you know, try to look for a new job. This also could help you when it comes to health matters. It could be a lot easier to take care of yourself on a daily basis or just make daily life a little bit more pleasurable. On the same day, Neptune will go retrograde in your fourth house. And so, with Neptune in your fourth house, there's a lot of spiritual work that you're doing in regards to your family and on an emotional level. And so, with Neptune going retrograde, this can just take you a little bit deeper into yourself and you can process a lot of the changes that have been occurring in your family, for like the past several weeks that Neptune has been here. Then on July 7th, Uranus is going to enter the sign of Gemini. And this is a several year transit, but Uranus coming into Gemini is going to bring shakeups and unpredictability and shocking events when it comes to your daily life. Daily life is going to become a bit more unpredictable. And for some of you, this is going to affect your career and your work, your service that you do. Some of you could be becoming self-employed, and that could bring a little bit more unpredictability to your life. You could have less stability when it comes to your work, but that doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. Um, Sometimes that's a good thing because it also brings more freedom in your daily routine as opposed to having a more structured daily routine. So you'll start to see how this is playing out as Uranus enters this part of your chart. Then on July 10th, you will have a full moon in your sign. So whenever you have a full moon in your sign, this is a big culmination or ending that affects your entire life. And this is happening at the 18th degree. And this is a Virgo degree, which for you relates back to your ninth house of your beliefs and your philosophy and your worldview. And so, and this is a big house for you right now, Capricorn, because a lot of these things are changing for you. The way that you think about the world, the way that you see the world is changing on a big level. And this could all be culminating, and this could cause you to make some type of big change in your life this month. Furthermore, 3 days later, on July 13th, Saturn is going to go retrograde, and Saturn is your chart ruler. So, whatever Saturn is doing is very important to your life. And Saturn will be going retrograde in your fourth house of home and family and your emotional well being. So, Saturn has been in your fourth house for the past couple of weeks now, and you likely have been feeling like family and like your living situation is more burdensome or it's more challenging or it's placing a lot of weight on you, or you could be coming to the understanding and realization of how your family's karma is really affecting you and maybe preventing you from moving forward in life, because our family's position is a very key determinator in how successful we're going to be in this life. And you maybe were born into a family that has a past or has issues or has these certain things that makes it harder for you to get to the level of life that you would like to go to. Like, no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you work, it's like it's never good enough, or you can't, things just don't seem to work out for you. And that may come from a much deeper level than you. It might not be that, you're not doing the right things. It might be because of your karma. And that is something that you will be realizing, or you will be finding out, as this transit keeps occurring. And you can start to realize that now and understand like what your actual position is. And the actual position that you're starting off, your actual starting point might be very different than what you imagined in your head. You might think, okay, well, I have all these opportunities and, I can do this and can do that, but maybe it's not as straightforward or as easy as you think because of your specific family karma. So, something that you definitely will be thinking about this month or realizing this month, but working with over the next couple of years. Then on July 17th, you'll have a third quarter moon in Aries, which again is your fourth house. So there's something that you're needing to change or something that you're needing to do differently in regards to your home and your family as you move forward. Then on July 18th, we will have Mercury retrograde, and this is going to happen for you in Leo, which is your eighth house of death, rebirth, and transformation. And so there's something on a very deep level that you're needing to address. There's a secret, there's a trauma, there's a vulnerability, there's a weakness that maybe you don't like to think about. Maybe you like to sweep under the rug, you like to, pretend it's not there, but it's affecting you. It truly is affecting you. You're not getting as far as you want in life because you're not addressing this thing. And you're needing to really, really get to the bottom of this now. And this likely stems back to family. Then on July 20th, Mars will conjunct the South Node in Virgo. And this for you is your ninth house of your beliefs and your worldview. So this could be a sudden, abrupt ending to a certain long held belief that you have had about the world. This a belief of yours could be challenged where you just can't believe it anymore. Like there might be something that you've been thinking that you now understand is just like 100% not true, and you just have to let it go. You have to let it go. You have to move on. And this is a process that you have been going through, Capricorn, with the South Node through your ninth house. A lot of things about the way that you thought the world a lot of ways that you thought the world worked are not true, and you know that now. Like, you know that now, but there could be a really big belief that, and it could be one that you've like really, really held on to, that becomes, impossible to ignore, and that could really change your life. So be on the lookout for whatever that is. And then on July 22nd, the sun will enter Leo. On July 24th, you'll have a new moon in Leo. So you're starting some type of new psychological journey in your life. You're starting on some type of new transformation journey in your life. And this is on a deep, deep level. And this is going to affect the way that you connect to people on an intimate level. It's going to affect the way that you um, work with your money. It's like you're really seeing the world for how it is. And this is something that is happening for you with Pluto in your second house right now. Pluto in your second house is showing you the truth and the reality of how finances work in the world. And, you know, finances are so important because that's what allows us to be who we want to be. We need to have the money to live the life that we want to live. And up until this point, you maybe have been making money or thinking about money or spending money akin to the way that your family has done it. Whatever you saw growing up. Like if you saw people spending money in a certain way or saving money in a certain way, you maybe have just copied that. Maybe you've even gone into the same field that one of your parents has worked in. And perhaps that worked for them and that was their way, but now you need to create your own way, and that might be very different. There might be certain things that your parents have not done financially that you're going to do. Maybe your parents never invested money. You're going to invest money. Maybe your parents have never um, been interested in the stock market, and now you're going to be interested in the stock market, right? Like, and that's going to change your financial future, which is also going to change what opportunities are available to you, which maybe were not available to your family because of the way that they were raised and how they were brought up. So you're really having to go off on your own, in a sense, and create your own destiny. That way you don't end up exactly as your parents did in some way, shape, or form. Now, finally, on July 30th, Venus is going to enter the sign of Cancer, which for you is your seventh house of your one on one relationships, contracts and partnerships. And so this can make relations with people a lot easier. You can have smoother communications, more understanding, more compassion. So this can be quite nice and take advantage of that, especially if there's something that you're needing to work with people with. So, best of luck to you, Capricorn.